afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome again to the Shy Peace Show. It's today the last day of November, the 30th of November of the year 2017. I'm your host, Dr. Peter K.B. Sejar, and we are here at CAN TV. I want to remind you that this is brought to you by the Peaceful World Movement. We are at 11451 South Michigan Avenue on the south side of Chicago. This is a live call-in show. You'll be able to call us in, but you can also reach us at the Peaceful World Movement at 716-603-0992. Our website is www.shypeace.net, and you can reach Peter at peacefulworldmovement.org. I'm happy to be here today. I have a Dominican colleague for us. The first Dominican colleague that I have here on the Shy Peace Show, Thaddeus James. Today we'll be thanking people for the contribution that they have made to help Dominica overcome the devastations of Hurricane Maria that devastated Dominica. If you went to our website, shypeace.net, this is actually the headquarters, the government headquarters, the stadium in Dominica. Different shots of different parts of the community, mostly in the Roseau, Lubia area, and we are very thankful that many of you decided to make donations. You went to our website, shypeace.net, to help support the cause of the Peaceful World Movement in our effort to support the Dominica relief. So this is our Thanksgiving week, because of course we are not here on Thanksgiving week. So we are here the week after Thanksgiving, and Thaddeus James was one of those. In fact, the main person who his shipping company was responsible for getting the items shipped to Dominica. And himself, I know he's a man of different talents, but the main talent we'll be talking about today is his talent as a shipping agent, and he'll actually be giving you some hints about some ways to get items onto the Caribbean. Hey, Thad.
Yes, good evening, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much to be here, Thad.
Thanks for the
invite. So tell the audience, have you been on local TV here in Chicago before, the audience?
No, I've never been on local TV here in Chicago. It's my first time on local TV here in Chicago, and it's a pleasure to represent, Dominica in the diaspora in reference with the relief and everything. And thanks for your invite, Dr. Sejar, Mr. Peter Sejar. It's a pleasure to be here, sir.
Thank you.
On behalf of Dominica.
Thank you, Thad. Thad does great work in the community, very hard-working guy. We had to move from far away to come here. The brother of Kofi James. So those of you who love the reggae music that you listen to at Wild Hair, this is Kofi's little brother.
Yep.
You think he's the big brother sometimes.
No, man, he's a teacher.
Yeah, he's a teacher. And Thad is a media mogul by himself, because he has this channels that he runs on Facebook and gives this update. So Thad, tell the people a little bit about who you are.
Yes, well, my name is Thaddeus James. I'm from the island of Dominica, and I reside here in Chicago in the U.S. for the past 8 years. And I must say it has really been a life-changing experience for me in terms of really adopting to a different culture and a different way of life and different laws, and just applying yourself in a more committed manner and a more responsible manner. Out here it has been very challenging, but nevertheless, with God by my side, anything is possible. So you have good guys like Dr. Peter Sejar, who is one of my mentors. I admire this man greatly for the work he's been doing and the passion he has in reference with connecting, the benefits to his island from the diaspora, and the extensive work he's also doing in the U.S. I really appreciate Dr. Peter Sejar here tonight, and it's a pleasure to be by your side, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Thad. It's a pleasure working with you. I consider myself honored because I have I have friends from different places, but I have to be honest that my Dominican colleagues, the people I either grew up with or connected with afterwards, they really bring a special joy to me, because nous sommes parlé patois, nous sommes mangé braf, nous sommes mangé Pilau, right? I'm a good speaker of native tongue in Creole and so on. So for those of you, again, you remember that you're looking at the Shy Peace Show, brought to you by the Peaceful World Movement. This is a live call-in show. You can call us at 312-738 1060, and you can ask questions here of Thaddeus James. So, Thad, what I would like you to tell our audience is, first of all, you're involved in the shipping business, right? I know you do other things as well, but how did you get involved in that line of work?
Well, to be honest with you, I was, based on my experience as a former employee of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority for 13 years, and I also worked with Dominica Coconut Products in the shipping department, headed by Mr. Max Karam and later on by Mr. Lennox Linton. And prior to that, I worked with Tropical Shipping when they started operations in the island of Dominica as a young operations manager at the time. So when I came out here, I saw the need for, it's a very strategic location that Chicago is in the Midwest. So there has been a lot of hurdles in terms of moving items from the diaspora within the Chicago area back home to Dominica. So I felt that within my conscience that I have quite a bit of knowledge in the technical know how to move freight into the islands. So I figured, let me put my foot out there and try to see if I could, represent my people in terms of getting their supplies and whatever needs they want to their families back home. I felt that I should take up that challenge and try to represent my people in a very fair manner and an affordable manner as compared to other shippers out here.
Yes.
So I just came in on that venture as basically a humanitarian thing. It's not a full-fledged profit business for me.
Right,
I'm doing it out of my heart and pleasure, and it's a pleasure to serve my people out there.
Right, and with this CAN TV public access in non-profit channel, we cannot promote, and we are not promoting personal services or for-profit activities. We're talking about the benevolent services that, is that black pepper? Is that the name? You just call yourself that? Is that the name of your company?
Well, it's a nickname from home, so it sticks with me all where I
So
go.
is that the company name too?
Well, yeah, technically you can say that. You got to put something attractive. So.
Black Pepper Enterprises,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. So Thad we're really talking about his benevolent contribution, because we went there, and the last time when we hauled the U-Haul, he donated his time, he donated his resources to make this happen. But Thad, tell the audience a bit, because a lot of time in Chicago, the Shy Peace Show is really about how do we create a more peaceful Chicago. We ask, why isn't there even more violence in Chicago, right? And a lot of times we hear about the problems that happen in society, but we get to know very, very little about how people do peace, about how people help each other, how people care for each other, right? We get to know very little about that. So one of the things that I want to ask you is about what experiences that you have had with meeting people who do not know, never heard of Dominica, or just heard about Dominica through the grapevine, or heard about it through the news. People that just give unconditionally, like what, and so we oftentimes say that we hear about crime, we talk about violence, but we don't get to see humanity. Yeah. And I just want you, because I witnessed some of it, you probably witnessed more of it than I did. Tell me your experience in the different type of people that donated goods to Dominica, and what that tells you about humanity, the way that you saw people responding.
Yeah, well, I must say, Peter, it has been overwhelming, the support we got from the local donors out here in Chicago, most of whom are my clients as a contractor. A lot of my clientele in terms of donating relief actually came from my clientele as a contractor, from Concept Contractors alongside Kubli Contractors. And these people felt the need to give some support in terms of humanitarian support to the island of Dominica, or any other island that was devastated by natural causes such as a hurricane and Maria and Irma, And there is some, like I always tell people, the thing about it is that these people see it as part of their responsibility to create a better environment in terms of helping, donating aid, because never forget, when these people take cruises, these are the islands they visit. So to them, it's like a secondary home. Some people have not really been to Dominica, but every year you find they tend to take up a different experience in terms of trying to visit a different island. So they felt, obligated to really handing out donations, monies to move the commodities and whatever they could give that could subsidize the needs and the plight of any island in the Caribbean. I'm not just talking for Dominica, but they're really open people in terms of giving. And I must thank the Hinsdale community, which is where most of my clients are based. Burridge, Westmont, Clarendon Hills. You know, they have been, I mean, it's Chicago is made up of different sides. And if you want to see a loving, open side of Chicago, you got to go to the suburbs where the people who can afford to donate, you know, the magnitude at which they donate and the passion and the way in which they care and they dialogue with you, you feel sometimes so connected as if they were on the ground in the middle of the storm with the people down in the islands. So to me, it's not just about a donation. It also has a personal connection with me, like I said, based on my clients and how they feel about a place, even though they haven't been there. But my personality tells a lot about my culture, and they feel me. My clients are I should say, you know, they're not just my clients. Most of them are my personal friends as well. So it's a lot of respect, mutual respect going on here. And it's just, there's not enough words to explain exactly, you know.
And just to give you guys a sense, you know, we were was it the Division, the street that we were on, close to Division, and over on the west side, and you know, Dion,
Belmont.
Dion, it was Belmont, Dion Lopez and the Caribbean Association of Midwestern America. And Trevor John Charles, who is our PRO of our nonprofit of the Dominica Association of Chicagoland, they were out there, and they were, you know, we had people from Puerto Rico, we had people from Mexico, we had people from Jamaica and Guyana, two attorneys, you know, whose countries were not even at all devastated by the hurricane, out there helping. And we spent hours there, and we loaded up a whole lot of items from the people, and we got to hear a lot of stories from Dion, you know, about people who came by and just gave unconditionally. People stopped and so on. Let me remind you again that you're looking at the Peaceful World Movement Show. This is a live call-in show, and you can reach us at 312-738-1060. We are talking here and thanking you for your donations that you've made to support the relief efforts in Dominica. We are showing some screenshots from our website, some shots from our website here in the Lubia area in Dominica. You see some local police officers there, courtesy of the photographers, one of the photographers that works with the national media that provided us with some of those pics. We saw, you know, some of the devastation that Dominica is still recovering. You know, Thad, I saw recently a post recently of a comparison from Curtis Tongue, or it was through his website, the Minister of Tourism and Urban Development, where they were showing the contrast between what Dominica looked like after September, at least at the 19th or so, after the storm, after Maria, and what it looked like now. From your own views of looking at, because neither of us have been to Dominica yet after the hurricane, but what is your response to some of what you have learned in terms of how Dominica is rising again, how the cleanup efforts are going on, and so what are some of your assessments?
Well, I personally saw the images of what you're talking about from its on Mr. Honorable Robert Town pages. And in a lot of the pics, there was one message I got. The first message I got is that nature is taking care of itself. All the greenery is actually coming back within a little time. Within a month from now, you might not know if you have to look at the foliage, the level at which the foliage, develops. You might not realize that a hurricane passed there, within the next 6 weeks or so, given that the rainy season is about to come in. But in terms of the infrastructural rehabilitation and how the cleanup and everything is going, based on my information, and I've been following closely, is a lot of work still to be done. Government is doing the best that they can do, but right now, I think that the challenge is way past the government or on a local level. So my plea tonight would be if anyone has any way or form or any connection where they could expedite or subsidize some of the equipment and in terms of the humanitarian service in the restoration project, it would be a very good thing that if they get in contact with the government and see how they could partner to expedite that process to be done, because they need help back home.
Yeah.
It's a small island, limited resources, and we are stretching ourselves real thin. But nevertheless, I'm impressed with a lot of what I see going on. I mean, Dominicans are very stubborn, as you know, so they might want to see things turn over overnight. But it's in that case, on that level of devastation, you're not going to get things to turn overnight.
Yeah.
We have a lot of material to move and all of that. So with God, everything is possible.
Yeah, and thank you for correcting me. My father was a good friend of Curtis Tong, so I still remember him. So Robert Tong is the Curtis Tong Honorable not mispronounced, misidentified. Here, with knowing the father more so than I know the son. Again, we are the Shy Peace Show, brought to you by the Peaceful World Movement, right here in Chicago and Can TV. You can reach us live here at 312-738-1060. Imari or Dallas, are you telling people not to call us? How comes we haven't gotten a call yet? They just want to give, though. We have Imari and Dallas, my criminal justice students who are doing the ancient internship. Is this for extra credit or no? They said no, so no, it's not extra credit. So, well, they're out there. We are happy to have them. I tried to get them to host the show, but the students do not want to host the show. I should probably leave the country and have them come out here and interview. But it's a pleasure to have young students. One is of La Isla Bonita, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rican background, and the other one is from Mexican background, and I always enjoy having them here, and we have Marley and also Adolfo, who also are our engineers. So we like to give recognition to them, even if you do not see their faces. And we're still awaiting your call. Call us, Dad. You want some questions, right? Although our time is really short, we're winding down already. So if you're watching and you're a little shy to call, don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Just call in 312-738-1060. So Thad, did you ever receive I know we appreciate all the gifts that we receive.
Yeah.
But sometimes somebody reaches out to you and gives you something that is so timely, or the effort that they made to give that to you, it just stands out to you. Not that the other things are not significant, but maybe you're tired in the day or whatever, and somebody shows up and makes a donation that just impacts you in a way. I won't say that others didn't, but in a way that you just go, wow. I mean, do you remember receiving of all the things that have come across that you just appreciated how the person gave or who gave, or something that really seemed timely and share that with us?
I think one of the most prized donations to the organization which we formed after Maria was from a gentleman. I don't know if I should call his name.
You don't have to.
But he gave me a significant amount of baby Pampers and stuff.
Yeah, I remember.
And even through the other donors, their primary interest was with the kids. Now, it clearly shows how people are interested in the next generation, or those who are helpless to themselves, because, we take care of babies can't take care of us. So people were giving a lot of interest and donating items in that line to do with kids and babies. That was these are the most vulnerable people during the hurricane or the aftermath of a hurricane. So people were paying a lot of attention to that, and it touches me because it kind of sends a message to me saying that the next generation is everything. While some people might take it for granted, but the power, that's where it lies. And change comes over a period of time, and over a period of time is only through the next generation development that can tweak time. A lot of people don't understand that. So it's always wise on any level to invest into kids or the next generation. And I felt that coming from the donor community.
Yes. Now tell me about that. I remember when we were in Belmont and I called you. I didn't even know what I was going there for, and I told you happened to be picking up. And then you showed up and you saw the extent of things that we had. But I remember your response to the wheelchair. right? Because you're like somebody probably. I wonder if somebody understands how special a donation of a wheelchair is
Yeah.
to people after a thing like a hurricane. It could even be a young person that needs
Yeah.
it, and then it can be passed on to multiple people. Tell me about your response when you saw the volume of things that were in that basement.
Well, let me first and foremost thank Dion.
Yes.
I mean, when I walked in there, I got goose pimples, I got goosebumps, I was overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, did one person do all of that? And Peter, also you tagged in along during the course of the day with your bullhorn in the middle of traffic trying to get donations and everything. I was like, if only people in the islands knew how some people out there who haven't even been to Dominica, how they take these grievances so seriously in terms of the magnitude at which they donate and the openness and the kindness in which they donate. I mean, we have no choice but to appreciate 100% when receiving that stuff and to respect the donations. But I was totally surprised and I was like, oh my God, there are people out there in the world that care.
Yes.
Yeah, it touched me.
Can you imagine that? We
significantly.
only have 2 more minutes to go. Time flies when you're having fun. You guys, I mean, and my phone, the twins. I call them the twins. I call them Mary and Dallas the twins. So the twins are having fun talking by themselves because they don't have phone to answer. But you guys didn't call in. I guess you just wanted to give Tad and I some time to talk. Tad, we're winding down again. This is Peter Saint Jean. Here, the Shy Peace Show, Peaceful World Movement, www.shypeace.net, 312 you can call us at 312-738-1060. You'll have to do that next week because we're kind of out of time. So, Thad, as we wind up in this last minute, what any words that you want to leave for?
Well, Peter, there's something that has me going, and what amazes me the most is the level at which the diaspora responded to a disaster in such little time, with finding the resources in such little time and trying to get it to the people in need. But one of the things I want to see moving forward out of the diaspora or international donors, we do not have to wait for a disaster to subsidize the needs of people. In terms of humanitarian support, the hurricane puts or disaster puts everyone or all donors on check. But we should not wait for that point in time to donate or to stabilize the life of people in need. People are always in need internationally.
Right.
And if we have the tentacles to reach out there and get stuff, we should get it, and we should openly, heartedly donate. And like I said, I would love to see people in diaspora adopt different societies or communities to keep that flow and that level of development, and just to keep the comfort of people going.
Right. Well, thank you for this.
disaster.
Thank you for this. We've come to the end of the show. Thank you. And Thad, we need to come back about that. How do we prepare before disaster? That's probably the topic of the next subject. Dr. Peter Kibi Sejan, thanking you again for watching the Shy Peace Show. And we'll see you next week, 5:30, right here, CAN TV.
Thanks. Pleasure.